you're a person, I've never done an interview where Walt Disney wanted his picture taken with you. But you're a kid like any other kid in the middle of nowhere in Wisconsin and end up on the beaches of California. Was that your rookie year with the Angels? I want to start with that day because that picture is probably at your house if you were there. But that's going to gather a lot of attention.
That's my profile. So at the one end of my career, it's Walt Disney. First day, opening day, Anaheim Stadium. And at the end of my career, of course, I'm throwing out the pitch for the Angels here a couple of years ago.
Rick Reichardt didn't play high school baseball. He was running on what's around the football field, but not over there on the diamond.
But it made sense because, you know, remember, Wisconsin, you know, what do you have in the spring? You've got snow, cold weather. You might have a 12-game high school baseball season. So I think track is a great adjunct on almost any sport. Conditioning-wise, disciplining 9 yards. This was probably my dad at work, you know, behind the scenes, who knows. I was sort of notorious because I broke an Al Hershey's scoring record, and there was a couple games where I had 350 yards on 10 carries and 5 touchdowns and things like that. But I was also state track champion in the long jump. I was second in the 100 and 200-yard dash to a guy that had the state record for about 10, 15 years. And our basketball team was number one in the state my sophomore, junior, and senior, even though we never got to the state tournament. So it was a combination of things, but I never really paid much attention to the attention I was getting. I just was enjoying life. I was just too busy to even live.
So when you go over to the baseball program, explain your first season in college baseball. I'd love to get a recap of that.
First road trip is down to this one. Arizona State, Rick Monday, Reggie Jackson, Sal Bando, and of course I actually started. I think the reason I started because I was the fastest guy on the team. In fact, I think I broke the NCAA record for playing around the bases, according to my coach. But I didn't do very well. I think I didn't get hit for a couple of games, and in the third game of the year, I hit one over the palm trees in center field, and 2 years later I'd won the Big Ten batting championship 2 years in a row. There was no draft. Everybody was, in effect, a free agent. And if you're good enough, they're going to go after you. They're going to pay you some kind of money. But for whatever reason, I sort of broke the bank. I think there was a guy named Bailey that played for the Pirates.
Okay.
Bob Bailey.
Bob Bailey.
He got
Sure,
a lot of money.
sure. Yeah.
And a few other guys like that. I signed for a lot of money, but I could have gotten a lot more from somebody else.
Was this after your junior year or after
This is
your
after
senior?
my junior year. I gave up my senior year. In fact,
With your father and mother on academics, I got to ask that question before I go into athletics.
I think my dad was not real happy that I had signed. I think he would have been more happy had I completed my senior year, but with the way things were going, if that draft was implemented, guess what? I'd have been the first one for somebody getting 50 instead of, whatever. So,
who were the 2 or 3 teams that you narrowed it down to, and in your brain you were starting
retrospectively, a team that should have been really interested in me was the Chicago Cubs. But it was the Angels, of course, the Yankees, the Phillies, the Red Sox.
Right.
Those were the main teams that were interested in.
And
of course the Kansas City Athletics were the team that was
I'm getting
most.
to that.
Charlie Finley actually flew to my home.
Charlie Finley
flew to my home.
Flew
to my home and took me out to dinner, cornered me away from my agent that way. All I knew was I always tried to do my best. I always hustled the most I possibly can. But what more can you do? You just let the chips fall when you made. It's hard to sort of at the time you're sort of involved with stuff to be retrospective because you really don't know what's going on.
Sure.
As I look back, it was pretty obvious. Vince Lombardi. He's a Green Bay Packer coach, and of course he's following all this stuff.
Right.
He invites me over to camp, and he presents me with football from the first Super Bowl. Kidding me? Signed by all the Green Bay Packers. Oh my God.
I hope, that attitude of being loved by your friends and teammates, I hope it gets you through any rough day. You've literally had one of the most charmed lives.
I've been blessed. Don't think I don't appreciate it.